Welcome to Black Living Room Talk, where we share and explore through conversation, stories, and information. We talk about the concerns that center around Black health, healing, and the systems that challenge our peace. How is everybody doing in this polar vortex, this cold weather that we're experiencing in the Midwest surrounding areas? It's been a little time since I've been on. Life be really life, and I'm telling you, I experienced over the holidays my father getting very sick. So it's been a while that I have had the time to be on with you. However, he is coming right along thanks to the Most High. So please keep me and my family in your prayers. I thank you. Today I'm discussing, though, a raw and powerful memoir from the 1960s that I read. And it's called The Way It's Supposed to Be by James Herndon. It's a really unflinching look at his experience as a teacher, and it pulls absolutely no punches. It's not your typical inspirational teacher story at all. Not at all. Herndon documents his year teaching at a junior high on the West Coast. The school is like 98% Black, and as the summary puts it, well up the down staircase. Right. It's a failing school, and right from the start, Herndon holds in on the central crushing problem, the school's classification system. This system is astonishing. Students were divided into sections from A to H. And this wasn't based on nuanced assessments. It was a rough translation from acceptable all the way down to hopeless. Hopeless. Can you imagine labeling a child hopeless? It sets them up for failure before they've even walked into the classroom. It's arbitrary and, as Herndon says, completely meaningless. A self-fulfilling prophecy baked into the very structure of the school. And Herndon was thrown right into the middle of it. He was assigned 4 classes, 2 B groups, which were near the top, but also a 9D and a 7H class. And those D and H classes were where the system's cruelty really became clear. The 7H section, for example, was basically a holding pen for kids considered behavior problems. And most of them couldn't read. 7th graders is just like tragic, and it's clear the school had given up on them. But Herndon didn't, not entirely. His approach with the 9D class is a perfect example of his unconventional style. He knew the standard curriculum was a non-starter. So what he did was he essentially let them be. He let them talk, chew the fat along with their gum, as he put it, and to get them engaged in any kind of academic activity, he did something brilliant. The top 40, he had them write like the rock and roll hits of the day on the blackboard. It was probably the first time anyone had tried to connect with their world instead of forcing them into ours. He was finding a way in any way he could, even if it looked like chaos to an outsider. The book goes like the classroom, just classroom anecdotes. Herndon talks about the complex social dynamics among the students themselves, governed by what he calls the ugly stick. The ugly stick he's referring to in the book is colorism, a social hierarchy based on the relative degree of blackness or skin tone. It's this whole other layer of social pressure and identity that these kids are navigating, and it's something the administration and most teachers were oblivious to or just didn't care about. Which brings us to his co-teachers. His descriptions are just devastatingly honest. They really are. He writes about a Mrs. Z, a veteran teacher who had been there for years at George Washington. And apparently, she never spoke to a single student in one of her classes. When I read that, I was like, how? So why? And how is that even possible? Because she said, in her words, she only talked to ladies and gentlemen. The implication being that these children were neither. Like, wow, that says everything, doesn't it? The sheer contempt. There's no pretense of trying to educate or connect. It's just crowd control. And this is the environment Herndon is trying to actually teach in. It also explains the style of the book. It's not a straightforward chronological story. Herndon himself uses the phrase in a brief suspension of chronology. It feels very much like you're getting the memories as they occur to him. The narrative is random, it jumps around, it's disorderly, but it's also incredibly lively. That chaos in the writing perfectly reflects the chaos of the school and the lives of these kids. It's not a neat, tidy problem, so it can't be a neat, tidy book. It totally captures the energy, the frustration, the moments of humor, and the deep sadness of it all. It's funny one moment and heartbreaking the next. He's deeply concerned, but he's not sentimental. And that's what makes it so powerful. The way it's supposed to be is this incredibly frank, free-swinging commentary. As one review put it, it's a snapshot of a broken system. A system that in many ways still echoes today. It's a vital read for anyone interested in education, social justice, or just a truly honest piece of storytelling. And I have to say I highly recommend this book because what I got out of it, as I just read to you my notes that I took, out of it to make, a summary to talk about the book, is that he really cared about reaching his students. He really had a passion for teaching. And I feel like, we need, more teachers like this in the system. Even though, it gets... You hear a lot of teachers today talking about how hard it is to educate and work in the system in 2026. So if you have the passion for it, you will find ways to be creative. And I feel like we have teachers like that today who really care, and they are making a difference in the lives of their students. So I would recommend that you check out the book by James Herndon, The Way It's Supposed to Be. It's a really good read. And let me know what you think. I am TB Wahid, your host, in Black Living Room Talk. I urge you to continue to listen and go back on some of the books that I started with. I think that you would find it very informational. I have been told by some who listen that, and some people listen, and there's some people who have just come through, and then they all say that they enjoy listening. So I appreciate you, and I am glad that you are here. And there will be more conversation, stories, and information to come in 2026. Please be patient with me. So I want to wish you peace, love, and light. And please, 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 if you are in any of these cold states, please take heed to the weatherman. And if you must go out, please, please, please take precaution with the proper attire for the weather.